Hey everyone, welcome back to Rugged DIY. I'm Steve Mikulich. I wanted to make kind of a quick special video for the holidays, give all of you out there some gift ideas for the DIYers in your life. This will be really quick. I'm just going to present some of the standard tools and power tools that I suggest for the beginner or for the DIYer that just doesn't have a lot of the tools required to do the job that they want to do. Now, I just want to do a quick disclaimer that I am not sponsored by any of the companies that I'm about to present. I am not monetized, and I am not monetized through YouTube or Amazon or Lowe's or any of the other companies that I'm going to post in this video as part of these suggestions. Now, in the video, I am going to add some links below the video so that you can navigate to the sites where I suggest buying the products or the similar products that I'm going to post. But again, I just want to be very clear that going through those links at this point in time does not monetize me in any way. I do not get any sort of benefit from it at all. I just thought that this would be, kind of a helpful video for those of you who know a DIYer or are purchasing tools or gifts for a DIYer and you're not sure what to get. I just wanted to give some suggestions so that you could go out and get those gifts for this holiday. All right. Now, the first one I'm going to suggest, and I just actually purchased this. This is a tool bag. Now, the reason that I'm going to suggest a tool bag is because in these bags, and this one in particular, you're going to get 230 tools that your DIYer can use. Now, these are very useful because all in one bag, you're going to get all kinds of tools that are going to be useful for anything from working on automotive projects to home projects or various other projects that you might do around the home. Now, in this bag, you're going to get an assortment of different screwdrivers, a hammer, a level, crescent wrench, and some sockets and some socket wrenches as well. There are other various tools in here, and the other one that is very important is tape measure. Now, in this bag, it's going to have kind of the starter kit for any DIYer. It's the basic tools that anybody's going to need to really go after just about any project that you can think of. Now, this isn't going to have all your more advanced tools that you would need for drywalling or anything like that, but your basic around the home needs are going to be met in a bag like this. Now, I chose a Kobalt bag because I like the Kobalt product, and I like Lowe's. Lowe's is the home improvement store that is nearby my home, and I prefer Lowe's personally just because I find that they are much more veteran friendly. I am a veteran, and I'm able to sign up through the Lowe's account and link my veteran status to my online purchases and to my in-store purchases. So they are my preferred store. And at Lowe's, they sell the Kobalt product. And I've found, and this is just my opinion, that Kobalt is a bit higher quality than the Craftsman line. Now, that's not to say don't buy a Craftsman. I'm just telling you my preference is Kobalt when I'm buying hand tools, because I've purchased both Craftsman and Kobalt tools, the same exact tool, and my Craftsman tool broke. My Kobalt tool stood up to whatever it was that I needed to do. So I've just found that in the price range between Craftsman and Kobalt, that I've been a much bigger fan of Kobalt. So that is my suggestion. So that's the first one. Get a tool bag that meets the basic needs. Something that's got a hammer, screwdriver, sockets, and a tape measure is going to really be great to kick off the tool collection for your would-be DIYer or your DIYer friend. The next thing that I'm going to provide as far as hand tools goes is the Kobalt screwdriver. Now, this is kind of like an automatic screwdriver. It's ratcheted. So it's very convenient when you're working on something and you can kind of continue to ratchet as you're working on it. Now, this comes with different heads, different attachments, and an extension. And it makes it very useful and convenient for doing the various different jobs around your home that would require you to screw things in. So the Kobalt ratcheted screwdriver is a fantastic screwdriver. I highly recommend it for the DIYer. All right, so the next item that I'm going to suggest is knives. All right, so whenever I'm working, I always have my foldable knife with me. It comes in handy for so many things, from opening up packages to scraping something away, all kinds of needs for a knife. And I just purchased this knife for myself. I am a big fan of Ka-Bar. Having been a prior service Marine, this was our service knife. I'm just a very reliable knife. They're made in the United States. They're fantastic. And so I just purchased this for myself because I wanted a nice straight knife, not collapsible or foldable. And so I went with a Ka-Bar. This is an outstanding knife, great edge, easily cleanable. It's really a fantastic, reliable brand and great knife. I chose the hard plastic case just because when I'm moving around, I felt like a hard plastic case was going to be better for my needs. They do have leather cases, and some of their knives also have different fabrics that they have for their cases. I will put a link down below for this particular knife, and I doubt that the Gerber that I use is still part of their product line. I've had this for many years, I mean over a decade. So, but I'll take a look and see if I can find something similar in the Gerber line to this knife, and I'll go ahead and throw a link for that as well. All right, so now I'm going to start stepping up into power tools. Now this was the very first cordless power drill that I ever purchased. And it really, I mean, it was a cost purchase. It was when I first bought my home. I didn't want to spend too much money, but I needed something to get some of the smaller jobs done around the home. And honestly, there hasn't been anything that I wanted to do with a cordless power drill that I couldn't do with this. Now this does have a hammer option and a standard option. So, I mean, it's versatile. I haven't actually ever needed the hammer option in this, but, just so you know. Black & Decker, not the premium brand, but if you are looking for cost efficiency, this is sufficient for getting the various jobs done around the home. Now, I did just purchase myself a new cordless drill. And the reason I went with the DeWalt, one, they're a popular brand and they're a reliable brand. Two, I already have numerous batteries for other DeWalt products that I have. And so I felt like for efficiency of use, that having a power drill that is the same as my other cordless power tools would be very useful. Now this does have the hammer option and the standard option. This is a little bit more compact than my Black & Decker, so I thought that getting into tighter spaces, this would be a little more convenient. I purchased this one on Amazon. I believe it was $99. I'll put a link for this in the video. But like I said, the reason that I went with this, it was for the versatility of using my various DeWalt batteries for my other tools and just getting more use out of it. So I'm looking forward to using this. I know from experience of using DeWalt tools that it's going to be a great product. And so I highly recommend, thinking about that whenever you're buying power tools, there's so many options out there. I suggest that once you start buying, that you stick with the same line so that all of the batteries that you buy will work on the same charger, and you can switch the batteries between the different tools. Otherwise, you can end up with multiple charging units, and multiple different types of batteries for multiple different types of tools. So it just becomes cumbersome, you know, trying to manage all of that and, you know, the different uses. Unfortunately, you know, a DeWalt battery isn't going to work on a Black & Decker. So it's something to consider whenever you're investing in your tools. I wish that I had known that when I first started buying tools, and I would have, you know, made those wiser purchases then. But again, if cost is your main priority, you know, going with something like a Black & Decker, there's nothing wrong with that. And I will also look and see if Lowe's still has these Black & Deckers, and I'll provide a link for that as well. Because like I said, there's nothing that I needed to do that I couldn't do with this. I just look forward to using my DeWalt and having my batteries to switch back and forth between my DeWalt power drill and my other DeWalt products. Since we're already talking about DeWalt power tools, I figured this would be a good time to go ahead and talk about my circular saw. So this was also one of the first power tools that I ever bought, and this really, again, priceless. I mean, having a circular saw, you can accomplish so many things. If you don't have a table saw or a chop saw, I mean, this can accomplish just about anything that you can throw at it. Now, you know, the one thing about these is they're not gonna have as nice of a finish as, say, a chop saw or a fine table saw, but if you can't afford to buy or, you know, invest in something like those right now, this is a tool that's going to be able to accomplish just about anything you need. And, you know, if you're doing a long cut, there are different accessory tools that you can set up so that you can cut a straight line that makes a circular saw, you know, capable of doing just about any construction type job that you need for cutting. Now, I did invest in getting some of the larger 20 volt batteries because the battery that comes with the saw does not have a very long life to it. You get a couple of cuts and then it's pretty much you got to charge it. So I invested in a charger and 2 additional batteries, and these batteries get much more life than this one here. And like I said, the nice thing about having a DeWalt hand drill that matches my DeWalt circular saw is that I can now share these batteries between those tools, and I'm getting more use out of my batteries, and I'm able to you know, share those batteries between those tools. Okay, so great tools. I will put some links down below for these as well. All right, so the next thing I'm going to suggest is that you invest in a corded power drill. A corded power drill is going to have a whole lot more torque to it. It's a much more powerful drill than your cordless power drill. This is something that you're going to need if you are drilling into concrete or you're drilling through thick wood. You want to have a corded drill because it's a much more powerful drill. Along with that, you go ahead and invest in some drill bits. Something like this is nice because it has, you know, the majority of the different types of bits that you're going to need around the home. Anything over and above this, you know, you can buy one-offs, but a starter kit like this is really fantastic for pretty much anything that you're going to want to do around the home. The next tool I'm going to suggest is a finished nail gun. The finished nail gun has been amazing for finishing off rooms, doing the trim around the windows, the baseboards, crown molding, and I've also used this for jobs like hanging fence boards. So a finished nail gun is a wonderful tool in a DIYer's toolkit. Really, again, one of those items that's, you know, kind of essential to doing any sort of finish work if you're doing indoor renovations. Now obviously along with that, this is an air gun. So you're going to want to purchase, if the DIYer doesn't already have an air compressor, then you would want to get some sort of air compressor in order to power this. They do have different types of air guns that don't require an air compressor, but they are significantly more expensive, which is why I went with the compressor and the nail gun that requires an air compressor. The air compressor, if you invest in that, is going to be useful for various other projects around the home. which is kind of a dual benefit. If you're working on any sort of vehicle maintenance, airing up tires, airing up bicycle tires, blowing things off, there's all kinds of uses for an air compressor as well. So don't worry about whether or not it would be useful to get this this gun that requires an air compressor, and whether you would get use out of that air compressor, because I guarantee you any DIYer is going to love to have an air compressor. Now I have a Cobalt air compressor, which I'll go ahead and share a link to the one that I purchased at Lowe's. Okay, so the last tool that I'm going to suggest in this video is going to be a miter saw. The miter saw is just so useful for every different type of project, from cutting trim to cutting fence posts, fence boards, any other kind of cutting or chopping job that you're going to do that you want to have a nice straight edge on, or if you want to have a nice measured angle, this is a fantastic tool. Now, when I purchased this, I didn't realize that there were miter saws that you actually could pull out, like a swivel arm, I guess, that you could kind of pull out and push in. And really, I think that would be very advantageous to have something like that where you want to cut a larger piece of wood. The 12-inch pieces of wood that I've cut for shelving and stuff, this is just a little bit short of being able to finish that cut. So if I had the wherewithal when I first purchased this, I would have bought one with an extendable arm. And so what I'm going to do in the video is I will link to a similar model to this, whatever current model, because this is, I believe, about 5 years old now. So I'll link to a more current model like this. And what I'll also do is I'll put in a link for one with a, one of those adjustable arms that kind of, can pull out or push in. Because if you want to spend the extra money, I believe that would have much more versatility and usability to it. So that wraps up the miter saw. Highly suggested for all of the various projects that you're going to be doing around the home. All right, that's going to go ahead and wrap up the video. I hope that those suggestions are useful. If you like these suggestions, if you find them useful, if you buy the products and you enjoy them, please let me know in the comments down below. If you found this video useful, please like and subscribe so I can send more content to you. I hope that you are all enjoying your holiday. It is Thanksgiving 2020 here today. As I'm shooting this video, after I finish up here, I'm gonna go down, finish up my cooking, drink some bourbon, and spend some time with my family. I hope that you are all doing the same. Stay safe out there. I know that tomorrow is going to be Black Friday, and this is an odd year. So, take care of yourselves, take care of your family, be safe. Hopefully, if you're not able to really get out and shop, the links that I will put at the bottom of this video will be useful. And I hope that you will come back and watch more of my videos. Enjoy your holidays, and thank you.